Hello, I am Mario Acevedo, and this is 60 Minutes.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Imagine it's the 1920s. Jazz is becoming a popular music form, dancing is becoming less formal, flappers becoming more prominent, and the only main problem in people's lives is prohibition. The economy is growing, and buying stocks was a very popular thing to do in that day. However, the life of a farmer was quite different. They were earning less than 1/3 of the average income of other kinds of workers, yet their cost of living was increasing. This was due to new technologies brought upon advances in agriculture. A quiet depression began forming in American agriculture that was just doomed to get progressively worse. Fast forward to Tuesday, October 29th of 1929. A day that will forever go down in infamy as Black Tuesday. In one fell swoop, the stock market plummeted and ultimately crashed. Banks failed and people lost all of their money virtually overnight. Things didn't seem as they would be getting any sort of better anytime sooner. Meanwhile, businessmen were suffering greatly from the market crash. Many lost their jobs and all of their money. Everything that they had built up their careers for had completely fallen apart. It was so horrible that many businessmen saw suicide as their only solution. In the Midwest, farmers faced even one more problem: the horrible drought and dust storms that became known as the Dust Bowl. With their lands being unable to produce fertile crops, farmers and their families were forced off the land they once called home. These victims, now known as the Okies, moved to Washington, Oregon, and California in hopes of a new life and better opportunity. In the White House, President Herbert Hoover tried his best to stop the public from panicking by trying to convince them that the economy was not that bad and would improve quickly. He believed that the economy would eventually fix itself. Eventually, he realized that he needed to help after being pressured by the American citizens. He tried to create jobs through the creation of public buildings, roads, parks, and dams. He also gave money to bankers in hopes that it would trickle down to all American citizens. Sadly, his attempts to fix the economy came far too late.
This is preeminently the time to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. Nor need we shrink from honestly facing conditions in our country today. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive and will prosper.
People were ready for a new leader, and Franklin D. Roosevelt was there to heed the call. Upon election, he began doing everything in his power to fix the Depression. He began by trying to pass a policy known as the New Deal. He created what we now know as the Alphabet Laws, like the Agricultural Adjustment Act, the Works Progress Administration, the Citizens Conservation Corps, and the Tennessee Valley Authority. He was a president who actually talked and responded to the American citizens. His efforts were considered successful as it did create a safety net for the American people during times of economic disaster. But in reality, it was the beginning of the World War, the Second World War, that ended the Depression for good. Thank you for joining us today as we discuss the topics of the Great Depression of the 1930s and the Dust Bowl. This has been Mario Acevedo in 60 Minutes, signing off.